All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning brief on time, on target masterclass on investing in military precision. Today is Tuesday, July 7th. All right, we had a huge up day yesterday. Obviously, after days like that, it's not uncommon for the market to come in. So that's what we're seeing so far this morning, but we'll talk about that here shortly. In terms of the podcast, some folks have asked how often are the episodes going to go out, and how long does it take? Well, it takes about an hour per 20-minute episodes by the time you set up, make your outline with what you want to say in the podcast, which a lot of stuff I already have pre-made from former presentations I've had. And then basically, by the time I edit it and upload it to my syndicate, that takes about an hour. Now, the funny thing is we have 24 episodes out right now. And today, the way podcasters do it is you basically make 5 to 7 episodes on a Sunday, and then you load them to launch at certain times during the week. So with that, I decided for the first time I was ahead of the game, and I was going to start launching my podcast out at 3:30 every day. And today was the first day of that. I wake up and I see my podcast is actually launched. So joke's on me. That was 3:30 a.m. that I had episode 24 launch, which was not intentional, because I don't think many people are hanging on the cutting edge of a covered call strategy at 3:30 in the morning. So kind of stupid on my part, but those things happen on occasion. So I'll get that set up so it's 3:30 p.m. from now on, which again is half an hour after the market closes. Geach, good morning, welcome, good to see you here. So with that, there's 586 total downloads. I can't see my number of subscribers, but I do know that's going up. I also got an email when somebody leaves a review. So if you leave a review, that is super helpful as far as the rankings. But of note, that 586 is when it breaks it down by month. I had 293 in the entire month of June downloads. And of course, I have 293 now in the month of July. And we're only 6 and change days in. So far, so good. Also, I was invited to be a guest on Wealth Morning, which is a New Zealand podcast. So we'll see. I'll try to get on there this week and run that episode, or at least a highlight clip from it or something. But they want an American perspective, and for some reason, I got on the radar scope. So I like that. All right, so let's get back to our brief here. We're going to grow our money, protect our money, and live off our money. And what we're talking about today, as far as our specific topics, is growing our money. Obviously, biotech investing, which is the topic of the day, and the 6 names we're going to talk about are below, is high risk, high reward type investing. So it's not good for protecting your money or living off your money. It's only good for growing it. So just know what you're getting into, just like any other high risk stock, and you'll know that there's a lot of motion to the ocean, if you will. The other academic we're going to topic of the day is FOREX Trading. That stands for foreign exchange. If you talk the dollar versus the euro, blah, 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 that's FOREX Trading. To me, that's for junkies. There are people that can do it and trade in fractions of pennies and stuff like that. If you ever go to one of these webinars, somebody will stand in the front of the room and tell you can do this all day long. Not quite, right? 22 and a half hours a day is when the foreign exchange trades are open. So so you do get an hour and a half break. That's one thing that the professional investors like about the stock market, is it's only open 6.5 hours a day. So if you are looking out to people and saying, hey, I'm going to take care of your money, I have my eyes on the prize, I'm the captain of the ship sitting in the command chair, then you are tied to 6.5 hour work day. So some cleanup around that, and that kind of matches up with an 8-hour day. Yes, you can trade after hours, but for the most part, it's that 6.5 hour day, which is kind of nice. It keeps you in a professional role versus a Forex trader that can trade 22.5 hours a day. That's more junky kind of stuff. So that's more on that later. Our flow today, we're going to talk long, short, open, short, long. We're going to start with our market review. You're going to see lots of red today, exact opposite of yesterday. Talk about some headline review, which actually talks about Operation, I just blanked on the name, but there's the for the biotechs, there's an operation, something or other out here that we'll come across when we do the headline review that is basically throwing money at the biotechs to come up with a vaccine. We'll talk about those 6 names and we'll switch to our day trading opportunities and we'll run our competition. Welcome back again to Geach. So Geach is a prior winner of this competition, but we'll refresh the rules for him since it's been a little bit. We will execute the market open. About 10 minutes after the open, we'll switch back to long-term investing and talk about where we're going with the overall market. Contingencies, you have Steve at ototnow.com if you need help out there. And the standard disclaimer, this is an educational presentation. You have to do your own due diligence before acting on anything you see here. All right, let's switch up to the TD Ameritrade platform. We'll take a look at the year in review. All right, you know about the big run up and the fall off. Basically, I want to focus today on that, on the channel that you have off to the right. So when you see the channel there to the right, pretty nice 5-day up move. Again, the one red candlestick meant that it closed lower than open. But when you look at that trend, it's a nice pattern up. So we, from a technical standpoint, we've held the magic level of 295 or so. So that gets everybody excited. And generally when you hold a level, think markets tend to scream higher. Yesterday's move was a couple things. First of all, Warren Buffett came off the sidelines with what's called his elephant gun, popping 10 billion into something. And he's got another 120 billion in his war chest there if he wants to start buying other names in the energy space, which I think he would stick to that myself, but you never know. But that helped obviously natural gas, which we were in for a while. We're back out of it now, but the market's moving higher, and it moved higher in a big way. That was one, was Buffett with the elephant gun making a big acquisition. Secondly has been Tesla. Tesla crushed their Q2 numbers. They've counted their cars and they know that's the numbers. They hit their projections. They're expected to be profitable at their upcoming earnings. They are expected to now then join the S&P 500, which again, all of those things are just going to take Tesla stock higher. It closed at 1371 yesterday after being up 13%. It's up 43% in the past 5 days. It is already up pre-market to 1427. People just gone up price targets up to 1500, and I saw a 2000 price target today, this morning. So Tesla's leading the market higher. You know my opinion, but I have been wrong. But either way, it's dragging everything up with it. So just realize that Buffett and Tesla are bringing the market higher here. Okay, let's go over to the 5-day look. Basically, all kind of a straight line. Up, and then today is the first time we've seen a break. It didn't break until the after hours, and then it's starting back up this morning. So I wouldn't be shocked to see us start creeping up this morning as well, and maybe even end up in the green by the end of the day. All right, let's go over to the calendar. Calendar's picking up. I did not pick a name up out of today to talk about, other than that there are some big dividend or big earnings coming up here in the future. So with that, let's go over to the headlines, and we'll talk about where we are with the market. So Dow was down 1% earlier, about 250 points or so. So that's trending upward. You see that the NASDAQ, again, which is primarily your tech heavy names, includes Tesla, is only down 0.25%, and that's again creeping in the right direction. So just realize we're in the red. We shall see how today plays out. All right, let's check out how Europe's doing. Again, big, huge move up day, up 2% yesterday, so they're selling off. Not uncommon. Over to Asia. Again, Shanghai started this yesterday with a 6% move up late Sunday night, our time, so that brought everything up. They're still creeping up. A lot of things are starting to look better between the China-Hong Kong relationship, kind of getting past that. So we shall see. Things are looking good. Let's go to the U.S. numbers from yesterday. Here were those big numbers, and again, the NASDAQ one taking the stock market higher. The VIX did increase, which is weird because you don't normally see the VIX moving in the same direction as the overall market there. So so we shall see. Again, interesting setup for today. All right, checking out bonds. Just a little bit of a move there, and oil. hanging at 40, just barely on the price of oil, and then gold and the other precious metals down a little bit. Again, gold has a, you can see the headline there, multi-year peak. So it had run up pretty good. I think all the people that are going to buy gold going into the election have probably already bought it. So, and then there's your FX tab, which we would never talk about, not even on the day we're talking about FX stuff. All right, so let's take a look at some headlines. We'll scroll on up here. All right, the company, the loans that were taken from the triple P, that list came out. That's a little bit of an interesting thing, is because when they put the guidance out for the Paycheck Protection Program loans, they kind of said, don't worry about it. If you need it, take it. And this is a little bit of the government now coming back and saying, haha, now we're going to second guess you, when that was not what they were saying initially. They were saying, get out, do it, take the loan, we'll worry about it later. Of note, you can see there's Nobu restaurants, which are obviously high end. I've only ever seen one. It's in Caesars in Vegas. Never bothered to eat in there because it's too high end. But another headline I saw that was kind of interesting is Kanye West's sneaker firm Yeezys. They took the loan too. So anyhow, running for president, so he'll may face some questions on that. Okay, let's continue to roll up. Yeah, Ford's bringing the Bronco back. I think that is a complete dud, and shows, to me, it's my opinion, that Ford has lost its focus and is really starting to act a little bit more desperate. Instead of focusing on the F-150 improvements and the Mustang, they're focusing on bringing something back that was killed off for a reason. My opinion. Let's roll up. Don't I see, Epstein, that's obviously he and his gal pal, who's now going to jail, and we'll see what's the over under on that, on how long she lasts a week before she kills herself. We'll see. But the don't know what that is exactly related to, but that's in the news, and it's a good thing. Obviously she's complicit in that, even without a jury. I mean, obviously she spent so much time around him that obviously there's bad things going on there. All right. Keep going. Let's go down here. We'll talk about TikTok. Okay, so TikTok, which obviously I sent this to my daughters last night. This was an off-the-cuff comment by Pompeo, not necessarily a direct quote. Somebody teed it up and said, hey, are we looking at banning these things? And he goes, yeah, it's something we would look at. Okay. Come on. That's a stretch for a headline. I don't think we're seriously going to do that. But realize, when you download an app to your phone and you give away all your human rights by accepting the following three things: access to photos, microphone, and camera. Yeah, you're bringing that thing into your household, right, and letting it track you full time. TikTok, obviously, Chinese owned by ByteDance, if you've heard that name, and so yeah, I don't think that's actually going to happen, but it was an interesting headline as well, or anyway. All right. Going down, Palantir is a data mining firm from way back, original Silicon Valley kind of thing. If they IPO, that would be one I would want to get in on. But more on that later. They filed for it, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's step one. Lots of companies file for it, and it never happens. Okay, NASDAQ record yesterday, so we shall see. And then Mahomes down at the bottom. We'll close with that 10-year extension on Kansas City Chiefs, $40 million. He's the sixth player in history that signed a 10-year contract. They're all quarterbacks. So scroll back up for just a second, since we're going to talk about biotechs today. Novavax, Regeneron, Square, because the first two, Novavax and Regeneron are the one names we're going to talk about here in a second. Click that headline, because there's an operation out there that is funding these things. So let's scroll up. All right. Operation Warp Speed. There it is. So they're throwing money at this left and right to get a vaccine. So anyhow, that's why these names are in the news. All right, let's switch over to the Schwab big board. Yeah, I see my kids spend too much time on TikTok, but that stuff's pretty funny. So, all right. So over here, we are looking at Novavax, Regeneron, Gilead, Biogen, AstraZeneca, and then IBB is the ETF. So Novavax is in the news. Obviously, these things got hit back in March, and then kind of went straight up. So I shouldn't say they got hit. They were bleeding off before that, and then you can see in March they actually kind of took off. They took a little tiny hit when the overall market was selling off, but they took off from there. Why? Because one of these folks is going to stumble across the answer and make a lot of money. So, but here's kind of the real issue. So you can see it in both Regeneron and Novavax is right now with Operation Warp Speed, we are throwing dollars at a problem because we need it solved. However, and this is what basically 3 years ago, we used to have the 4 big horsemen of biotech, and you could invest in any or all of them and you were going to make money. But about 4 years ago, they kind of went out of style because it's tough for the US government with insurance and how our healthcare works to allow these companies to actually even make money. So remember, when they price their drugs, they have to try to recoup years of research and development, right? So they come out with something that's $79,000 a pill. Everybody gets their goes up in arms, you know, and then says that's not right. So then they don't allow these companies to make a lot of money. So that's why they've fallen out of favor. Right now they're hot. These are not long-term holds. I do have some Gilead in there, which is that third one, which has done nothing, right? So it's got the remdesivir, however that's pronounced, the one that starts with R. That was exciting for a little while, and then now it's kind of faded as other things are being looked at. Biogen does not have a solution out there that I know of, but again, strong biotech firm, that's a name that could pop right back in. AstraZeneca was in play for a while and it's kind of leveled off. But really, if you want to get in on this space, how in my opinion you would do it is just go with the IBB. That's kind of all of it together. So it'll benefit from this. Now, I would basically, I'm not in the IBB right now, and I don't really plan to hold it. But if you were, you would buy it until there's a vaccine, and you would sell it because it'll probably track up through the actual point of delivery of a vaccine, and then fade from there. Okay, so we can bring those down, and we will go over to the tab to start to take a look at some names, see if anything's in the chat yet. ENZL. Yeah, it's very funny because when the worldwide map for your podcast, it's like I have 2 websites, and I get all my analytics of how are people finding it, what are they searching for. All that information's out there for you. And what the kind of funny part is, it has a worldwide map for your podcast. It tells you where the downloads are. And I was showing my wife, and all of a sudden, there was 20 one day in New Zealand, and now there's 30. So it's like, hey, I have a fan in New Zealand, and then no kidding, here comes that email about, do you want to be on our morning show? So anyway, all right, so I see Eric Shorten there. That's Ericsson. That's a phone maker. Don't know if they do other things. Closed at 993. They're down at 950. So it's at 5% move. 4.33. I see. I'm off to the right there. Telephone. Okay, a lot of letters. Phone maker. Chinese ties. Okay. Yeah, I would need the actual headline on that to be able to trust it, but we'll certainly put it on our list of shorts. And again, shorts with the market set up could work today. I still think there's a lot of emphasis to the move up, so we shall see. All right, NEO is in play again, dropping. It ran up yesterday. It's run about like the past 20 episodes or so. All right. There's Novavax up 30% on the headline. They've bounced like that before. We shall see. Workhorse off 10%. Click on that, see if there's a headline there. Nope, it's just coming in. It's a solid name though. And then ARO or IRO, depending on how that's pronounced. Again, right here in Austin, they were along yesterday, so they're coming back in some. And let's double click on that, see if there's a headline. It probably isn't. It's probably just coming back in. So I'm going to write these down so we can circle back to them. Short IRO. Short, I want to say IRO went up like 100% yesterday. It was kind of crazy. So there you go. So went up, yeah, crazy, over 100% there. All right, let's go to the next tab. There's our Novavax again. Livongo Health, not familiar. Tesla just been crazy. We already talked about that with that huge move up yesterday. I can't see it continuing to go up, but then again, I've said that before, and it does. NVIDIA had some good news out on the new, lots of new game pipeline coming out for gaming, as well as new devices. Sony and somebody else has a new device coming out for the Christmas season. So NVIDIA is in play a little bit there, but not enough for us to really to take a look at. All right, let's take a look at the decliners. What is going on with Google? GOG, let's bring that up. They're joining up with Deutsche Bank. No wonder the stock is selling off. All right, closed at 14.95. That's saying it's opening at 14. Well, look at the bid-ask spread there. Low volume. I wouldn't put a lot into that. Headline. Cutting edge cloud services to Deutsche Bank. I'm not excited about it. I hold GOOG. Not too worried about that. I don't think that's going to gap down like that, is my opinion. Shopify off a little bit. Nothing else really has the volume. I guess we'll keep a look at Google to see what's going on. That would be positioned, I think, for more of a fill the gap strategy. It's too strong of a name, in my opinion. All right, let's take a look at the next tab. All right, we talked about UGAS again, still riding the wave of the Buffett purchase of Dominion. Yang, again, the yin and the yang there. We aren't messing with any of the Chinese triple levered stuff. Again, pretty low volume. UNG is a straight natural gas play. UGAS is going to go away here. Gosh, it should be this week or maybe next week. So UNG will be the way to play it if you're trying to invest in natural gas. All right, I don't see anything here that I like or would want to touch. Go ahead. Actually, go back. We'll talk about the solar play. Vivint Solar got bought by Sun Fund, I think, was the parent group. So anyhow, it's popping on that. I don't think there's more to go on that. It's already priced in. Okay, over to the last tab. There's Sunrun. I just talked about Sunrun, the fourth one down there. Again, it's gapping up on the merger news. Let's go and bring up Sunrun anyway. Take a look at that chart. 21 gapping up to 24. It went as high as 25.50. Then click on gapping up. I'm looking off to the left here. Hey, Vivint Solar was Blackstone backed. So generally, that means Blackstone bought it and is reflipping it. All right, let's see. Click on that LVGO. Not familiar with this company. Okay, raised guidance. Stock has more than tripled year to date, so it's certainly a hot play. Don't know anything about it, but we'll put it on our watch list for a long. Ambarella, let's click on that. Remember, Ambarella is not a lot of volume here, but chip maker. Let's see if they have a headline associated with them. They're the chip maker out of GoPro. 46 up to 48, been a kind of a steady move up. Wouldn't want to touch it without a headline though. Well, there's an over-the-counter name trading, TNRSF. Let's see on a lot of volume, see what that is. Tenaris SA, no idea, so we would not touch that. Okay. Let's go back to the short tab and click on West Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, that's not enough volume. Click on Shopify. It's got 46,000. See if there's a nope. I'm looking for the gapping down headline. Yeah, try HAE. See if it shows up as a gap down. The second one there. Nope, nothing. So not a whole lot to play going short. All right, well, we'll go back to some of our steady names that we look at for shorts, and once we get over to the other chart. IRO short at 1 minute, out at 6, 30-cent stop. All right, we'll get that set up. Eric, we'll get that set up. All right. I don't have anything I necessarily like yet. We've got 4 minutes, and I'll start looking at some things. All right, work pre-market gappers. We're back over here on the QDEL gapping down. Yeah, nothing really moving there. That's weird. Okay, over to the main screen. We'll get things set up for you. Go ahead and put Eric and IRO. We'll call it IRO. I don't know if it's IRO or Arrow, but it looks like I to me. Leave workhorse on the right here. I want to look at this as far as a short. I think it's too strong of a name to short, even though I kind of like that setup. No, I don't want to take that short. Let's look at Google, GOOG. Hardly any trading. Let's look at like AMC. Go through our bankruptcy crew. If you can back out to like a 15 or a 5-day, something like that. Sold off hard yesterday at the open, 4.6. I might take a look at AMC short. Let's try Hertz. Not much going on there. Let's try Chesapeake, CHK. And not much there. Man, nothing I like going short here. Put up at LVGO. That was a long name. Got 2 minutes yet. All right, pull up IBB. So I'm going to take a kind of a closeted long here. I don't really like it. And I wouldn't do it with real money. But with all the names, with both the Operation Warp Speed going long, I'll take IBB long. Let's leave this up here for just a second. IBB, go ahead and type it in for me, please. Let's take the IBB long in at the open, out at 20. So we're going to let this thing cook, basically. 14 down to let's go with I'm looking at a 40-cent stop. So I'm going to basically give it down to 138.75 is why I'm setting that stop there with the 40-cent stop. So it'll have to move $1.20. So if it moves up to the pre-market high of the day, that's a 3-hour trade. So we'll have that set up. Mine's a little more boring. You can put that's NKLA, I'm sure Nicola, short. In at 2, 15-cent stop. Yep, you can set that up in the right-hand column. You can get rid of mine. All right, 10 seconds to the open. IBM long at the open, out at 20, 40-cent stop. Enter. There we go. All right, mine's in just before the bell. Yes. All right, so things are in play. We'll get rid of IBB. We'll go to Nicola and kind of watch the opening there. Nicola, excuse me. Now, I kind of like the Nicola short thesis because everybody is talking about what a bubble it is. So it's obviously come way down if you zoom out on Nicola, even to like 15 days. So there's kind of the path that it's on. It's really fallen out of favor. So we'll see if it continues to sell off. Go ahead. All right, is anybody in at the open? So we're in at 1 minute in a row. So that's the first one, is the middle pane there. So we'll get zoomed in on that. And again, Burner will be into this short at the end of this minute. So we'll draw his entry in there first. So entry at 526. And it's a 30-cent stop. So he's got up to 556. That'd be off the screen. And then, of course, 3 times 30 is 90. So that'd be down to 436 to be able to get an R out of that. So can't even really draw an R on that screen yet. All right, let's see. Both other trades are out there in at 2 minutes. We'll check on mine after one of these busts. I got it on another screen. Let's put IBB over here so I can keep an eye on that. Thank you. All right, 15 seconds away from these other 2 trades setting up. So IRO's in the green, looking good there. All right, so there's our entry, 952-ish on Ericsson. And again, that's a short with a 10-cent stop, so we can get the stop in there. There we go. All right, and then our entry over here on Nicola, 46.98 looks about right. And what was the stop? 15-cent stop, so it might have, let's see, 46.98, so 47.13, so it held. There's your stop. So that trade is in the green, and then, oh, look at it striping down there. So 45 cents off of, go back to the entry price there. So a 3R trade is 45, so 50, 53. So again, that's 3Rs already in Nicola. So that's quite the move down. Obviously, you're going to be in it until the 8-minute point, but look at that. Yeah, that's 3R. Gosh, 4R, almost 5R already. Sweet trade. I don't see that backing up a dollar. I mean, so I think that's a daggone good trade right there. All right, so we'll let kind of that thing go. 6R, 7R. Dang, Geach, welcome back. Look at you. All right. It's quite the profitable minute there. All right, let's look back at IRO, and I think we had a big stop on IRO, 30-cent stop. So up at 556, that's still off the screen, so that thing can flop over there. I'll look at IBB. Again, it was long. It opened at 139.05. It's up 36 cents, and I'm at a 35, so I'm up about an R in the IBB. Scroll up here. I'm looking at CNBC. Kanye and Trump are a big picture of Kanye and Trump showing up there with no attached headline to it. It's kind of funny, just a good picture. Remember, he had he went and interviewed in the White House not too long ago. Saturday Night Live had an absolute heyday with that. But the big news there while we're looking at the CNBC is the NASDAQ is in the green. So again, that's going to take the tech stocks higher, if you will. The Dow and the S&P really haven't moved a whole lot from where they were, but you can also see it on the left screen over there. S&P, yeah, up some. So, all right, let's see who's out of the trade first. 5 minutes. So it looks like the Predator will be out of the trade at the end of this minute. So another 40 seconds to go. Currently Predator in the red there. Yeah, right. The big zip. Looking at some other comments here. Warp speed. Yep. Operation Warp Speed. Very nice. All right, here we go. Closing out the Predator. That's going to be negative. So wait for that to officially happen on the chart. There we go. So Predator down to lost half an hour basically. So we'll kill off Ericsson and put off IBB. Okay. Don't know what's, nope. So stop. We'll go ahead and put an arrow back in. That's Burner's trade, and he has got a 30-cent stop, so he's plenty to go. So disregard all drawings on arrow. Go over to Ericsson on the left pane. All right, that's the one that is done. So we've got Ericsson out at 5 minutes. It's in the red, so you can kill that one off. And put in IBB. And again, I took IBB. We drew on that. We'll take it at the open, which is 139.05. That works, 06, somewhere in there. And my stop on it was 35 cents. So it looks like I am stopped out actually. 139.05. So what's that? 138.70. So I'm stopped out of IBB. So kill that one. Obviously, my assistant was ahead of his time at IRO that just flipped and got itself killed off. So you can, nice job realizing that was going to work against you. And that's why we have stops in, kids. Look how fast that thing moved up. So the IRO trade is now dead. So you can finish your X if you want. But he had seen it coming. All right, so 3 of us are out. Only Geach is alive, and Geach looks plenty safe, and he gets till minute 8, so he's got another minute and a half there. So probably good. Look at the buying there in IRO. That's kind of crazy. Up now 10%. That must be a big buyer. Look at that move. That is kind of crazy. All right, let's start looking at some other names. First of all, because it's sheer curiosity, let's pull up Luckin in the middle pane. That one's fine. You know. All right, so it went up to 310, back down to 293, which is down 3 cents. It closed at 296 the other day. So not too bad. All right, let's see. Let's look. We've got NKLA off to the right already. Let's look at Workhorse, WKHS. Okay, again, this was a short. It's down about 10% or 11% or so. IRO, we know about. Google, see how that started trading. I thought this was kind of false. It was showing down 15% pre-market. Yeah, look at that. It's up on the day. So that's one of those, you know, thinly traded there. All right, closing out the 8 minutes. So we'll close it out at the green point right there at the high end of it, 45.66. So that's in terms of R, that's 3, 6, 7. That's about an 8R trade there for Nicola. So that Geach, thanks for joining us again, and you get another free month in the room. We'll add that to your tab. That's right, the X of shame instead of the check mark of justice. All right, so that was Google. Let's see what else. LVGO, that was a long. Let's take a look at that. So 14% popped up, 86, almost a $4.50 move and then retraced it all the way back down to the entry point and then setting up again. I wouldn't touch that on a delayed entry. AMC short, I thought about taking this. So AMC short at the market open, 418. That would actually stop. I would have taken it at the open. It would have stopped me out because it ran up 21 cents. And this is more of a 10-cent stop. So if you took a delayed entry though, 424, then you would have been in it all day. 424 is more of a 2-hour trade than a 3-hour trade. Let's check out Hertz, HTZ. There, if you take that even with a 10-cent stop, it wouldn't, it'd be 0.7 hour, half an hour or so, but pretty safe on Hertz. Not many people are buying that. All right, let's look at Tesla. A big move up initially, 1429. That's a new intraday high for Tesla. That's kind of crazy. All right, let's look at Amazon. Also hit a high yesterday, AMZN. When people think you're crazy when you buy a $2,500 stock, well, there's why, kids. It's at over 3,000 now. And actually, that dropped below. Go back on Amazon's chart out to go to a like a 1 3-month chart or so. You can bail on that one. There you go. Weird. Let's go with the 1-year chart. Kind of showed that dropped all the way down to 1,600. I was not buying it there, but I was buying it in the 1,800 to 1,900 range. So pretty nice move higher from there. Okay, let's see what's going on in the big market with the long names, kind of switching our minds back to long-term investing. Clickstream penny stock is up, Shop's up a little bit. That Shopify, Northwest Bio, Take-Two Interactive. A lot of gaming news coming out right now, and as people await the new platforms, and Christmas tends to be good for the gaming stocks out there. So you see Take-Two, EA, ATVI is Activision Blizzard below that. All right. Not a whole lot in the green there. Let's click over to red and see what's down. Oh, yeah, let's look at that chart. Blink, which is the EV charging company. Now, do I care that it's off 18%? Not really, because it moved up 60% yesterday. But I'd rather it not be down like that. So you've had a bunch of names that have been traveling together. You've had Blink, you've got Plug, you've got Workhorse is another EV name, Nikola. All those are kind of off. So there's probably profit taking. NIO's down a couple percent. So that whole space looks like it's facing some rotation there. Okay, we can go back long and talk about our topic of the day, which is Forex trading. So here you go. This is a beginner's guide. There's no way we can even really scratch the surface of everything that can be involved with Forex. I've gone to one of these seminars and sat there for 3 hours where they teach you how to do it. Then you walk over to the computer and you do it real time in a play money account. And absolutely don't like it myself. If you're a junkie, this is a perfect, if you need to hit 22.5 hours a day, then this is for you. But really, you're tracking the different currencies around the world and trading the relationship between the two. A lot of times you're setting in a penny stop on something, and then all you're doing is collecting that penny, but you're doing it in volume. So that's what we'll do. That we'll put the key takeaways at the top here and kind of review those. So when you see that middle one there of the 5, the euro versus US dollar, that's a trade pair, if you will. So when you see those relationships, that's what it's tracking up and down. You can have futures, so it's already highly speculative, and you also can do futures, options, and currency swaps, which are all now derivatives of the Forex trading. If you want to get super fancy, I would say you don't need to do that. There is you see the market participants, that last one is, to hedge against international currency and interest rate risk. Yes, you can. You can hedge the US dollar if you're worried about interest rates / inflation. So it's really kind of taking it the other way. Or if you have say you're running an index fund or a mutual fund that is China or New Zealand. Let's go China. Then you can hedge their currency risk, because even if the stock stays still and the currency fluctuates, obviously that's going to translate into gains or losses. So you can also hedge the currency there. So you're kind of negating that back out. But whenever you're hedging, obviously you're taking your total return and total loss and dampening that down some. So there is a way to professionally use it. I've never used it because I'm never heavy enough into a foreign country to have to use it. But say the US tanks and South America, crazy, takes off as the latest and greatest place to invest, I would have to get smarter and use some of these tools to be able to hedge the currency down there. All right, you can go up. It says that currency trading is all over the counter. So it says the market is open 24 hours a day, 5.5 days a week. So that's a change. It used to be, I'm using a seminar I went to about 2 years ago. It used to only be 22.5 hours a day. So it appears they do not have to take a break now, but only 5.5 days a week. So you can't be a complete junkie and trade around the clock. All right, let's continue up. Some of the historical background. All right, we can continue up. I'm not sure we're going to get much out of this. There it explains the hedging if you wanted to hedge currency risk. Continue up. Speculation, that's what I've seen people try to do with it. Okay, all right, we can kill that off, and let's go back to CNBC and see how our refresh everything, see how the markets are doing. Yeah, I saw your note there. Russell and mid caps are down, so not uncommon. So really, it's just tech, and it's probably Tesla. All of the emphasis behind that. So VIX is up just fractionally, still below 30 though. So I think today could probably go either way from here. I don't know of any particularly bad news that we're trying to digest today, but in particular, I think so. Markets tend to melt up a little bit when there's no bad news. So IBB on the move up. Yeah, a little too late for me. So hadn't I got stopped out there, that would have been kind of nice. I'm still not touching the multi-R trade that Geach had. And if you look on, we can bring that screen back up. We'll show you what I'm looking at on the TD Ameritrade screen. So yeah, there's your 1R is that. So you're about 8R. So you're down. If you'd have rode that out, that's 15, 16R kind of trade. Good times. Well done. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much for listening in. Glad to have, let's see, what did we have? 5 of the 6 members in the room today. So good job, and we'll see you guys back tomorrow. Have a good one.